Big Match, Part 1, production number 44260, date recorded 4977, take 1.
Pearson, put through by Greenoff. Jones is after it. Pearson shot, goal!
Welcome again to the big match. And our lineup today on the programme, we bring you 3 outstanding games from the First Division. Our main match is at Highbury, where Arsenal take on Nottingham Forest, who arrived with a 100% record. We back that up with Newcastle against West Ham, who went to that match without a point of any sort, and Ipswich Town against Chelsea. Our guests on the programme today are John Lyle, the manager of West Ham United, who joins us here in the studio. And from Switzerland, former Spurs striker Martin Chivers, a lush lifestyle, but you'll be hearing how he's hankering to get back to Britain. And there's a look at your letters too, but first we go to Highbury, where a 40,000 crowd had come to see Arsenal face Nottingham Forest, many drawn, no doubt, by the 2 men who've guided Forest to a brilliant start this season. And here is the combination then that's had the First Division talking. Brian Clough and Peter Taylor bringing their side to London for the first time this season. 4 wins in 4 games. And the man who scored in every one of them, Peter With, their strongly built striker who scored twice against West Ham in midweek. But if Pat Jennings has any say in it, there won't be a repeat of that today, though it's still very strange seeing Pat as an Arsenal player after all those brilliant years at Tottenham. And here's Graham Rix, a Yorkshire lad who's forced his way into the reckoning now for Arsenal, who scored in his first appearance at the tail end of last season against Leicester. So young Rix lines up in an unchanged Arsenal side, the one that knocked Manchester United out of the League Cup on Tuesday night when Malcolm McDonald scored twice. And of course, as well as Pat Jennings, there's also former Tottenham defender Willie Young at number 6. As for Nottingham Forest, like Arsenal, they're unchanged. Indeed, Brian Clough has chosen the same 11 players for all 4 games this season. Apart from With, watch out for the pace and skill of Tony Woodcock up front and the sturdy defence of Kenny Burns, Forest's big buy in the summer from Birmingham City, a defence that has conceded only 1 goal this season. Ron Challis is the referee. He comes from Tunbridge in Kent, and the crowd, well, they'll be hoping that the game is as good as the weather. So here we go then. Arsenal attacking the goal to our left in their familiar red shirts with white sleeves. Nottingham Forest in a change strip of all yellow. Really the question is just how good are Nottingham Forest after this brilliant start. Arsenal today might present something of a yardstick. McDonald sending Stapleton on his way, but a good challenge there by Viv Anderson. Howling. Certainly confidence should be bubbling around this Forest side. You see only 1 goal this season. There's Graham Rix. A long cross towards Malcolm McDonald, a little too high for him. And Forest under a bit of pressure there, but and making some more of it themselves here as McDonald takes that short ball there from Powling. Rice playing it in for McDonald again. Nice dummy, trying to use his strength. And O'Neill getting it away to Robertson. Willie Young. High into the director's box. Peter With, a tremendous season. 5 goals from 4 games. Ross getting it away to McDonald. He's up on his own, and Anderson, the young fullback, getting in very quickly there, but the referee blew his whistle there for a free kick, or whether it's a throw. Brady stopping it along the line for Nelson. Oh, what a good ball there if Brooks can get onto it, but Larry Lloyd was there for Forest. Stapleton waiting to allow someone else into the throw. There's Kenny Burns with Martin O'Neill of Forest also.
Nelson with the throw. Brady. Nelson again. Chipped in there towards MacDonald. There's his header! Well, it's Stapleton who's running away. It was Stapleton and MacDonald who went up together. But there's not a doubt in anybody's mind that it was a good goal for Arsenal that puts them 1-0 into the lead. With just over 3 minutes gone, John Stapleton playing his first game at Highbury, beaten, and now we shall see what Forest are made of. The long cross came slanting in, MacDonald and Stapleton went up together, and it floated beyond the Forest keeper into the back of the net. Well, it was Stapleton who went charging away, and clearly it was he then who got the decisive touch and not MacDonald. And MacDonald after this one. Oh, and Middleton made a mess of that. Ross then with the corner. Deep again towards MacDonald. Oh! Just wide there from number 4, Richie Powling. But it was nodded back by MacDonald there for Powling. Great volley, and wide of the Forest goal. Now with Robertson, Woodcock. Well, showing a bit of his pace there, but O'Leary stayed well with him. Clearly it's David O'Leary's job to watch Woodcock. And Willie Young, in the meantime, taking Peterwood. Brady on the edge of his own box. Well, there was a handball presumably there by Harry Lloyd. A long ball from Pat Rice to Graham Rix, taken nicely on his body. Nelson into the path of Brady. Rix. Oh, what about that for a bit of skill? Onto the edge of the box, Powling. Well, that didn't quite come off. The idea was a very good one. He was trying to slice that with the outside of his right boot, but what a lovely jinking run that was by young Graham Rix. And the pass that gave just that half chance for Powling. Rix back to Brady. Now they all looked and they all waited, and in the end it was wide by Trevor Ross. There was a lack of incisive action there in the Nottingham Forest defence. Brady at the heart of the Arsenal attack again. And the ball finally coming through to Trevor Ross, and he didn't really get much power behind it. So David O'Leary up this time, and Willie Young also. There's the corner going in. Oh, and headed off the line by Anderson. Knocked away that time by Bowyer. Now, a free kick to Nottingham Forest, the foul by Nelson on Woodcock. And really some acrobatic defence there by the big number 2, Viv Anderson, heading that header off the Nottingham Forest line. Now it's Robertson for Nottingham Forest, trying to tempt Rice into a mistake, hitting it low across the goal, and Jennings down very quickly, deflected off an Arsenal defender, and put it behind for the Nottingham Forest corner. Arsenal have pulled everybody, bar none, back into their penalty area. That's got to be almost as crowded in there now as the terraces are. Jennings with a good safe catch. Well, His side might be down, but they're usually a side of fighters and battlers when Brian Clough's around, so they're by no means out of it yet. Certainly there's been no sign of Nottingham Forest's heads going down, even though they suffered that early blow. Well, they're looking for a goal now from the likes of Tony Woodcock. It's Anderson through to Woodcock. McGovern playing it wide to Robertson. Could be interesting. Played there for McGovern. Well, that was a poor shot by McGovern. That was a better one, and it wasn't foul. Well, it was a bad first shot that John McGovern played in, but he was a little fortunate one to find it coming back to him. But when he did, he really lashed the second one, but it was always just that little bit too high. Rice killing that well, playing it on first time there towards Trevor Ross, and that's going to be a corner for Arsenal. Young up there again as a disruptive element. There he is, number 6. Ricks with the corner. And Young with a header, knocked off the line that time by Kenny Burns. Young again getting up well there. Oh, and Pat Rice springing from the back. It's the second time defenders have got balls off the line for Nottingham Forest. First it was Anderson, and this time it was Kenny Burns, as Willie Young got up so well from that corner. Clark. There's the half-time. Brian Clough goes down the tunnel, perhaps to find a few well-chosen words, although his side have composed themselves well after that early shock when Arsenal scored after 3 minutes, presumably through Frank Stapleton, although Stapleton and McDonald both went for that same ball. But it was the goal that separates the two sides after 45 minutes, and a lot more to come on the big match today. A half-time score then at Highbury. Arsenal 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Welcome back to Highbury. Arsenal starting their second half leading by a goal to 0, but it's Nottingham Forest who kick off in the all-yellow strip, attacking the goal to our left. Not really the happiest of hunting grounds for Forest. They've won here only once in the last 18 visits. That was in 1964-65. That's going right back to 1922. One win here. Larry Lloyd. Sammy Nelson. Arsenal with having won both their previous home games this season against Everton and in the League Cup against Manchester United. McGovern and Woodcock. Two sides separated by Frank Stapleton's goal, number 10. And here's O'Leary. McDonald. Brady. Rifling in a left foot shot, and Middleton spinning across his goal. In fact, it finished up 3 or 4 yards wide. Clark to Robertson. Woodcock being policed there by O'Leary. Oh, between his legs. Oh, and O'Leary winning it well. That's a beautiful ball by O'Leary. Stapleton is free. Oh, smacked it against Middleton, who couldn't get his hands to it, and MacDonald, the ball bobbling just as he was about to hit it, but the whistle had gone and Stapleton's gone down. But what a ball that was from David O'Leary. What a brilliant young player he is. Right into the path of Frank Stapleton. And from the edge of the box, Stapleton let fly. Middleton, it must have moved a bit in the air off Middleton's chest. And MacDonald made a real hash of the rebound. But it's a free kick on the edge of the box. I think it might have been for a foul by Kenny Burns on Frank Stapleton as he shot. Now, can Arsenal make something of this? 4 or 5 men in the wall, including Powling, and there's a bit of kicking going on in that wall between Powling and Burns. Brady chipping it. And there was a bit of something going on there, as you saw there. Well, as we see again there, Kenny Burns on Richie Powling, a butt. Powling to Stapleton. Oh, that was a very severe challenge indeed there by Kenny Burns. Came in from an angle that I couldn't see, but obviously Ron Challis did see something. And he must have been high on the Arsenal player then. Sharp talking to, and a free kick. Which Brady will take for Arsenal. Chipped in again there towards Willie Young. Now MacDonald with a free header over the top goal. Ball just wouldn't come down quickly enough there for Malcolm MacDonald after Willie Young had again disrupted that Nottingham Forest defence, and the ball falling to an unmarked Malcolm MacDonald, but over the top. Clark, Young beating it in the air. Robertson coming in very quickly there, but Sammy Nelson now. Woodcock with a shot, and a good save by Pat Jennings. And O'Neill is in there, and Jennings diving to save his life and his goal again. And they very nearly gave a lot away there, Arsenal. It was a bad mistake there by Sammy Nelson, and Forest were on it like a flash. Jennings made a good save, only half got it away, and as O'Neill came in on the far side, Jennings had to save again. Now Ross, now MacDonald. Well, he's gone past the challenge of Kenny Burns, and he's after Anderson, and Anderson knows where it's safe. Good run here by Sammy Nelson, and he gets a corner. Trevor Ross with the corner for Arsenal. Oh, it's in there! Stapleton's put another one in. Well, that was unbelievable. So a smiling Irishman from an impossible angle, the corner from Trevor Ross, nodded out by Nottingham Forest, and he must have been standing almost on the byline, Frank Stapleton, and he rocketed it past to Middleton for number 2. Arsenal 2, Nottingham Forest 0, both of them down to Frank Stapleton. Harry Lloyd. with the throw. One cross there, Willie Young getting up well. O'Neill being harried from behind by Ricks, and it's Nelson now who brings it away. Stapleton making a tremendous run to that far side, but it goes off Anderson for the Arsenal throw. Ricks for Brady. Running straight into Kenny Burns. Somehow the back heel came out almost to Nelson, but it's O'Neill, the long ball forward. And push, yes, by Wig on Young. Lloyd has done a good job on McDonald. Header. Robertson. Kenny Burns straight to McDonald. Brady outside him. Again looking for the ball all the time. Finding McDonald and Middleton. Not too reassuring for Nottingham Forest fans at that moment either. Ricks. Well, Anderson did well to judge that long clearance from Pat Jennings, but here's Ricks for Arsenal. Nelson. Brady. Stapleton's on the ground. I don't know how he got there. And the linesman on this side flagging, he saw something that I didn't see, and the referee didn't see either, because it happened away off the ball. The linesman here with the yellow flag, Mr. Previtt of New Malden. Ron Chalice left with a decision to make. What's he going to do? The Arsenal players are pointing to the penalty box. They feel that if there was an infringement, it was inside the penalty area. He's having a word with Kenny Burns, and he's going to be booked, I think. A look of innocence on the face of Kenny Burns, but he did not, whatever it was, escape the eagle eye of the linesman with the yellow flag. So his name will go into the book. And the yellow card. Now what happens now? There's got to be a penalty. And it is a penalty. Well, a mysterious infringement, but a clear-cut decision. And a chance now for Arsenal to go 3-0 up. And Liam Brady, who's had a brilliant game, with a chance now of getting that third Arsenal goal. And it's 3-0. Taken by the little Irishman with great confidence. Never a moment of doubt in his mind that he was going to score. And that's 3-0. Well, this isn't the afternoon that Nottingham Forest wanted. Mind you, it started off badly for them when they arrived in London, and there was no coach at the station to meet them, and they had to hurriedly hire a fleet of taxis to bring them to the ground. A goal down in 3 minutes, and now 2 more in the second half. 2 goals to Stapleton, a penalty by Brady, and a yellow card for Kenny Burns. Now Woodcock. And they save something for the day. Bowyer coming in. Oh, and he hit the post. Nothing is going right for those 2 gentlemen this afternoon. And it looked as though at least there was a chance of a goal there, as Bowyer hit it and hit it well. but it cannoned off that Arsenal post. It'll come for MacDonald. The touch will go to Stapleton. Ross waiting in the middle. And MacDonald's gone in there too. Stapleton lost his chance really of crossing that, and now he's got to get rid of O'Neill as well. And it's a corner. So Frank Clark, great old campaigner, going off, and Colin Barrett, who used to play for Manchester City, a full-back coming on. Corner play to Sammy Nelson. That's a goal kick. Clough and Brian Clough and Peter Taylor deep in conversation there. I should think they've learnt one or two things, or their team have certainly, about First Division football this afternoon. It's a Forest free kick. Peter with John Robertson. He had the legs of Willie Young there, but David O'Leary doing a good, solid job at the back again for Arsenal. Woodcock trying to come away from O'Leary this time. Kept control well. Kenny Burns. Howling played it just a little too close to Burns when he hoped to get O'Brady away, get to Liam Brady away. Robertson nicking it in there for Bowyer. Back again for Woodcock. Oh, and a tremendous piece of goalkeeping there by Pat Jennings. It was a lovely 1-2 though, mind you. And Tony Woodcock shaking his head in astonishment. A lovely 1-2 there, and it eventually reached Woodcock, staring straight at Pat Jennings. He volleyed at him, and somehow it hit Jennings on the body and went away to safety. Stapleton taking a nasty old knock in the back. Keep the players on the field a moment or two longer. I think Ron Challis was just about to blow his whistle then. I think he's probably telling Frank Stapleton, look, hold on a sec. Once this free kick's taken, I'm going to blow the final whistle, and then we can all go home. Look at the watch again. Whistle in the mouth, final whistle. First defeat of the season for Nottingham Forest. Well beaten by Arsenal. Liam Brady, who scored the third Arsenal goal from the penalty spot and played really as well as anybody. A hobbling Frank Stapleton, who got Arsenal off to a brilliant start with a goal after 3 minutes, and then a second one in the second half. What a lesson for Nottingham Forest, and 3 successive wins at home for Arsenal so far this season. Full-time scoreline, Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
And indeed, it was a performance with few mistakes by Arsenal, but a lesson or two to be learned there by Nottingham Forest. And there were 1 or 2 unsavoury moments in the game, not least the incident involving the penalty and the yellow card for Kenny Burns. But there was an incident earlier that the referee and linesman did not spot, but the camera did. It happened during a line-up for a wall with Richie Powling and Kenny Burns behind him. It starts as a bit of a giggle as Kenny Burns tickles the Arsenal player. Liam Brady waits to take the kick. And you'll notice the Arsenal player there, Powling, just kicking back a little bit on Burns. That happens often enough in a penalty, in a wall. It doesn't make it right. But watch Kenny Burns now as this kick's about to be taken, butting Powling in the back of the neck. The referee didn't see it. If he had, he might have had something to say about it. But something that they did see was this penalty incident, or at least the linesman saw. Now watch the left-hand side of your screen as Frank Stapleton comes lunging there. Presumably there had been some contact from Kenny Burns from behind. We don't see that contact though, but the linesman did. He had his yellow flag raised and he wouldn't put it down until Ron Challis, the referee, came over to him. And really it was a good piece of refereeing by Ron Challis to give that penalty, taking the word of a linesman, working well together as a team. So the yellow card for Kenny Burns. And just look now at John McGovern, the Forest captain. He knows that Kenny Burns has let the side down and he's letting him know. And I think there might be a word or two from Brian Clough on that subject as well. Of course, it doesn't matter where the ball is, as long as it's in play. It's where the incident happens that matters, and Ron Challis, of course, was 100% right to give Arsenal a penalty on that occasion. There were some good moments in the game as well, and this was a lovely Arsenal move. There's Liam Brady, the long crossfield ball, young Ricks over his own head, spotting Sammy Nelson coming up. A ball played quickly down the line there for Richie Powling. And as the cross comes in, a very good move from one end of the field to the other, full of artistry there. Alas, Arsenal couldn't quite do anything about it. It really wasn't quite as good a game, I think, as a lot of people hoped that it was going to be, but at least there were some good moments at Highbury yesterday, as well as some of the not so good, and I'm quite sure we haven't heard the last from Nottingham Forest, at any rate, about that Kenny Burns incident. It's time we had some more action now, as we greet viewers from HTV in Wales. And for this, we pick up Chelsea, who've made a rocky start to their new career in the First Division. 1 win and 2 defeats in their first 3 games, and beaten in the League Cup as well. Mind you, that was against Liverpool. So they're finding the going a bit tough. And it was never going to be easy when they visited Ipswich Town yesterday. Anglia Television covered the game. The commentators, Jerry Harrison. Chelsea are in the light shirts.
Here's Hunter. There goes Burley's cut out by Wilkins. A throw to Ipswich. Wilkinson's gone to left back. That's meant that Harris has come in at right back. Here's Gates against Wilkins. Wilkins gets it off. Gates has been very busy in midfield in the game so far for Ipswich, and he scored against Northampton in the League Cup, as well as making another one. Hunter coming up into the penalty area too. Mariner coming off the near post. Here's Hunter. He felt perhaps he should have had it. Phillips, the goalkeeper, fortunate perhaps that it was driven pretty close to him. Just a reaction save, he got his arms up. And on the break now. Osborne, Woods going wide on the right for him, taking a defender. No, he's not. Nobody's covered him. The elder Wilkins goes over. The other one comes to him. Here's Wymark. And the goalkeeper was rooted to the spot. Drifting in from behind. As the cross came over from Roger Osborne, everybody stood still except for Wymark, a clear header, and Phillips didn't move. But that's a good through ball for Langley. Burley's there too, though. And that looked a foul. Burley protesting that it looked like a dive. But referee Saul's given a free kick. And it'll mean that Droy will come up. Wicks will stay back. But too much attention on Droy will leave Finiston and Stanley and even Swain that vital amount of room. Finiston beginning a small run there. Now Stanley going for one. And it's a good one by Langley. That wasn't far away. Stanley went in there. But I feel that Langley got the touch as he went in front of him. Gates ducking inside. Doesn't lose Harris, though. Wicks again. And Osborne can't get it by Britton. Now it's Woods. Trying to get by Swain. Uses Talbot here. There goes Tibbett. Now it's Mariner going to get up. The sun's in their eyes directly. And it's Gates. Should have been a goal. Awkward one to hit on the volley, particularly when they come down slowly, because normally somebody will come and have a bite at you. But as the ball came over deep, hands went up to shield it from the glare of the sun. Mariner got it back, and Gates, with a first-time shot, just pulling it past the post. Nice flick back by Wymark to Mariner. And now Wymark trying one. And now Talbot. At last beaten, but he needed a great bit of running by Brian Talbot to get the ball past him. Well, the big two in the middle made that one. First of all, Wymark setting it up. Mariner couldn't get by Droy. He had the shot, it was blocked, but Talbot really coming through from the middle, getting into the most dangerous areas, picks up the loose ball, drives it home. We're on the stroke of 45 minutes now. Can the Ipswich make this first half dominance count again? Talbot getting one over. And here comes, oh, that was Swain as Osborne came in. Thought Osborne was earmarked for a little bit of a crack there. But Kenny Swain coming across, covering well. And a corner is nothing in those circumstances, particularly as we're in time added on in this first half. All the Chelsea players back except Kenny Swain. There's Tibbett doing well. Is Osborne, can he get it past? Oh, he nearly did. A fine turn, considering it was with his right foot, and that's the end of the proceedings for the first half.
Well, that was the half-time score, and indeed the full-time score as well. A 1-0 win for Ipswich. Next, it's your letters. Just time to pop in one this week, which comes from R. Wheeler of 32 Shepherd's Lane, Rickmansworth in Hertfordshire, who asks, am I correct in saying that I saw Bill Shankly, the former Liverpool manager, play for Arsenal during the war? In fact, Mr. Wheeler, you're absolutely right, and we've got the proof here as well. In an old Arsenal programme of November 1942, Arsenal against Charlton Athletic, Bill Shankly. LAC Shankly, in fact, at number 4. What a half-back line that was as well. Flight Lieutenant Bernard Joy, distinguished journalist, at number 5. Flying Officer Jack Crayston, who later became an Arsenal manager, at number 6. And at number 11, Sergeant Compton D, Dennis Compton. Nice little note there at the bottom, which was relevant to the times. Air raid shelter. In the event of an air raid warning being received, the police will instruct the referee to stop the game when they deem it necessary, and the players will leave the field. Spectators must take shelter and remain under cover until the all clear has been given. Just one more job for referees at that time. Quick mention here before we go on of a player well deserving a testimonial this week. It's Ian Cook. He's had 14.5 years with Wimbledon, and he's got a match on Tuesday night at Plough Lane, Wimbledon, when Wimbledon take on Crystal Palace. Tuesday, 7:30. Ian now starting a new career with Slough. Well, another man who started a new career in the past year or so is Martin Chivers, the former Spurs and England striker, now playing for Servette of Geneva in Switzerland. 16 goals last season he scored. He's a big name there now. And his lifestyle, I think, would be the envy of many professionals he's left behind. This is the beautiful view from Martin Chivers' 8th-floor apartment in the exclusive area some 3 miles outside Geneva. The Servette Club have provided that for him, and a company has provided a car for Martin and for his wife, Julia. They have all the sporting facilities you could wish, and that, naturally enough, includes a pool. He's got happy memories of his days at Tottenham, and still, as a matter of fact, always wears the medal that he won for Spurs in the UEFA Cup final against Wolves. I suggested to him that financially it was a very good move to Switzerland.
Yes, very, very much so, especially as we were top all the way through the season, so the bonuses go without saying. It was very good money.
Could you have earned as much in England, or is it beyond the range of any First Division club?
Well, it would have taken me a few more years to do it in England, but it was a challenge to me. I knew the money was good. I wouldn't have come out here if it hadn't been very good. And I shall see the 2 years through.
And now you've just started this season. You've played 2 games of your club's 4. You've scored twice. You had a fright a few weeks ago about a cartilage, which in fact, thankfully, wasn't a cartilage problem.
Yes.
And you've got 1 more year to go.
Yes. Well, yes, until at the end of next April.
And then what?
Hopefully I can find a position in England to come back to. I know it won't be as lucrative as it is in Switzerland, but I would like to incorporate my coaching with the playing side. I'm still good enough to play at home.
At what sort of level would you see yourself playing in a year's time at home?
It's hard to say.
Do you ever hanker to go back to White Hart Lane, for example?
Yes, but there's no going back. It's a famous saying, so unfortunately I don't think... I think I should remember the great days with Tottenham. I don't think I couldn't prove anything by going back there now, but I would like to go with another London club.
What about England? When you look back on your England memories, is there anything particular that you remember there?
Yeah, I think one game more than any other of the 24 games I played for England was the one against Scotland in front of 100,000. There's always the big battle. And I scored 2 goals in the first half. We won 3-1, and Martin Peters scored the first, and I popped in 2 more before half-time. And I think that, apart from the goals, it was a very, very good display.
Chivers has gone into the 6-yard area. Hurst is there too. Peters and Lawler, who scored nearly 50 games of first-team football, was getting there as well. And Peters! Oh, was it there? Yes, it's given! Martin Peters gets that one! Jimmy Johnston. And Ball putting it back there. Curran with a chance, and Curran has equalised. And so now it's Davy Robb. Ball shaken off that ball by Lee. And Brogan now putting it for Chivers to hammer it. And there it is! Martin Chivers! And now Lawler. Old Chivers are going on this one. There was a deflection which wasn't very lucky. And there it is! Martin Chivers, another one!
And to bring you right up to date, Martin Chivers' side, Servette, played an important game in Zurich last night, and Servette won it 2-1. But Martin didn't score on this occasion. But his side are top of the Swiss league, so he's doing well. Our last match today is surely one of the most thrilling of the day, when there were so many crazy results. It's Newcastle United against a West Ham side cruelly hit by injury and without a point so far. And watching the game with me is the West Ham manager, John Lyle. So West Ham's troubles were really mounting when they arrived at St James's Park yesterday. Newcastle United against West Ham, a match that was covered by Tyne Tees Television. The commentators Kenneth Wolstenholme with Newcastle in the stripes.
Now Kennedy with a lot of room in which to work. Clean to Burn. Oh, and Day wasn't certain with that one. That was a good shot, and Day was very unhappy with it. Jennings back to Holland, but Gray in quickly, and he's obstructed. Blackhall to take the kick. Cassidy. Now Burns has got a chance, a nice flick onto him, and that's a goal. A lovely flick onto Burns, and Burns through the goalkeeper. So Day, the dummy, Day went to his left. And Burns just steered it very beautifully. The Day's right, just inside the post, the far post. I was twice seen Mickey Burns find room over on the right. Once he forced Day to a save, and the second time he gets the ball in the net. So perhaps a lesson there for United. Now Cassidy into Craig. A good shot from Tommy Craig. On that occasion, Mervyn Day was equal to it. He saw it well, covered it well. Some good clearance to Lampard. Robson. Now Mitchell against the West Ham team. It seems quite easily robbed. And this a great shot and a goal by Cassidy. From fully 35-40 yards. And that was set up for him by the young number 8, Keith Mitchell, who squared the ball to Cassidy. There seemed no danger at all. Cassidy almost nonchalantly hit it, and hit it so hard that Mervyn Day was left flying through the air and groping only at air. Cassidy to McLean. Well, that was telegraphed and well read by Jennings. Up comes Tommy Taylor. West Ham move forward, albeit rather laboriously. Appeal for offside, not given. So it's Robson. Snaps up the rebound. Jennings, oh, took it down beautifully and scored well. Argument in the Newcastle defence. But Robson was the man who sent over that inch-perfect centre. Jennings cleverly breasted it down, and one would have thought he could have been challenged. He breasted it down, hit it into the roof of the net. Taylor. To Devonshire. Slips Craig very cleverly. And Robson has escaped the offside trap. And it's a corner kick. And Newcastle are playing this offside game just a wee bit too much. They were coming up very early then. Robson was able to see them do it. Snapped up that ball, was well onside, and almost managed to chip it over Mahoney. Now McLean snapping up the loose ball and pushes it across to Kennedy. And in the last 2 minutes of Kennedy showing his speed. And it's a corner. Tremendous acceleration, Alan Kennedy, and when he really gets into top gear, he moves. Burns to take the corner kick. Off the line by Brush. Craig to Burns. Oh, neatly stopped. Obviously the man who intercepted could have been a very good pass. Now, obviously to Robson. Holland is onside. Oh, Jennings, it must be an equaliser. Yes, it is, by Alan Taylor. 4 minutes of the second half gone. And Holland put away down the right. And pulls his centre across very, very neatly. Catches the defence on the wrong foot. And the ball goes through to Alan Taylor, who has all the time in the world to knock it into the back of the net. Kerbishley. And a foul by Kennedy on Kerbishley. And Kennedy is going to be booked for that. Yes, the card has come out. And Lampard is appealing to the referee not to. And the referee is going to do it. He's already had the yellow card out. The notebook is there. So that's the second name in the referee's book. First was Tommy Taylor of West Ham. Now Alan Kennedy of Newcastle United. Tell you what, if they put their sub on Otolowski, that'll fox the referee if he takes his name. Lampard is a goal, Robson! And it's a goal. That lovely free kick by Lampard, putting it across, and nobody moved. But Bob Robson, who came through like a bullet.
I'm sure West Ham manager John Lyall is a lot happier than he looks at this moment watching that again. But it was a tremendous performance yesterday to come back in the way that you did. You must have felt, though, that you were dead when Tommy Cassidy's second goal went in for Newcastle.
Well, Brian, we'd had preparation wasn't ideal with a number of first-team players missing. And I must admit at that time I felt that we would have a great job getting anything out of the game. But I think that was a nice factor of it for me. The young players and the senior players got together. They kept playing their football, showed a lot of guts and showed a lot of character, forced their way back into the game. And possibly the thing that pleased me most was not just that we got 3 goals, there were the goals, the involvement of individuals and the collective effort of the team to get the goals, and I thought they were extremely good goals for us to get.
I suppose one of the virtues, in fact, of having so many players injured, you do get an idea of just how strong your whole squad is, because you're having to throw people in that you wouldn't normally throw in.
Well, last year we put lads like Devonshire, Pike, Kerbishley was a little unfortunate with injuries, but he's now in the side. Young lad Brush has come in, so now we've developed 4 more players for the squad. And of course, when we get all the other lads back, we'll have a hell of a battle for places, which in itself is a good thing for a club. I think without competition, you're not going to have a good side. To be a great club, i.e. Liverpool, to have that, you've got to have quality players, probably 18 of them, to be successful.
But it's amazing that you've had so many injuries. I mean, is it something maybe in training that is not quite right, or is it pure accident, John, or what?
Well,
we've an incredible list, doesn't it?
Yes, we've searched into everything. We've looked at the problem of treating the injuries, and Rob Jenkins, our physiotherapist, is working round the clock. They can't have any more treatment. That's a fact. In training, we've not changed anything that we know of, but of course, none of the injuries are of similar nature. So basically, one just has to look and say, well, that's a spell you're going through. It's a difficult spell and it's a hard spell, but one has to accept this.
Tell me the first team players that are out at this moment, then. Just recap those for us.
There's Billy Bonds and Trevor Brooking, Bill Green, Mickey McGivern, John McDowell, Keith Coleman, John Radford, Jeff Pike. So it's a serious situation, really.
I can see why he's working around the clock. I think that the two names that spring to most people's mind are Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds. I mean, how near are they now to getting back to fitness?
Well, unfortunately, Billy's a little way off. He's having trouble with a calf now. He originally had a calf injury. It developed into a stomach muscle strain, and now it's gone back to a calf injury. He's just having that sort of spell that all footballers have. Nothing seems to go right. Fortunately, with Trevor, he began some light training during the week and may possibly get a game of some sort at the weekend. We'll really have to see how he responds during the week.
You're at home to Queen's Park Rangers next Saturday. Will he play in that one, Trevor, do you think?
Well, he's got a slight chance of playing, Brian, but obviously he's been out 2 or 3 weeks, so we won't risk him unless we have to.
In a word, a lot of West Ham fans are saying, well, I don't know, are we going to have a season of slog, or is it all going to come well when the injured players return? I mean, how optimistic are you?
Well, Brian, yesterday showed the quality of the players that we've got at West Ham. Basically, no one would have given us a chance. At 2-0 down, we could have accepted the problems of football and said, well, OK, we'll lose 4-0 and no one will mind. At half-time, I knew the players were going to win because they came in and, yes, I really did. I knew we were going to win at half-time.
They came in and what?
Well, they were so full of themselves and they were talking and they got all their confidence had come flooding back. Just the fact that we pulled 1 goal back away from home. Goals are a great factor and wins are a great factor, especially early on in the season. And the younger players, if you can get a goal, it gives them that lift that's necessary in the game. And it's easy for myself to criticise players and say they don't do this, they don't do that. But I'm not doing the job. When you're there under pressure, and our lads have been under pressure with the side ever changing, you lose balance in the team. Possibly the first goal against us was an example of not having practiced together, not having done the job as a group continually, having to change the side, and the little things that you talk about, they perhaps don't come off in one situation. They're the problems of football, and that's what our lads have gone through. But of course, if you come out over the top through it, then it's okay, isn't it?
You've spoken well, and you've put it all into perspective, and thank you for coming in. Well done.
Pleasure, Brian. Pleasure.
And that's it. Don't forget, though, England against Switzerland at Wembley on Wednesday night. The best of the action, 10:30, only on ITV, when John's old boss, Ron Greenwood, takes over England for the first time. We'll leave you today, though, with that brilliant comeback by West Ham yesterday. 3 goals that bring 2 points.
Snaps up the rebound. Jennings, took it down beautifully and scored well. Jennings, it must be an equaliser. Yes, it is, by Alan Taylor. Then bodies a goal, Robson.